How do you approach estate agents for a serviced accommodation when you are new and you do not have 2 years worth of accounts? If this is literally the only thing that's been holding you back, then you definitely need to watch to the end of this video, because I'm going to be sharing some experience and tactics that you can use to get over this hurdle. First things first, even if you're new, you need to be presenting your company as professional and as trustworthy as possible. And how do you do that? You get a solid company website, professional email address, and a logo. Don't overthink this though. It just needs to be in place. If you head over to brucerooms.com, or is it .co.uk? I can't remember. Type in Bruce Rooms on Google. Go on my website. That's literally what I designed when I started. It took me 2 evenings. Never designed a website in my life. Chucked that all together and never changed it. And I scaled a 6-figure rent-to-rent business. It's a perfect example of how bad a website can look. But as long as you tick those boxes, limited company, professional website, professional email address, and a logo, you can't go wrong. Those small details go a long way when building credibility. Another thing you can do when you're setting up your limited company is use a virtual business address. This will make you look more established. So if you're not already set up as a limited company, that is step number 1. Get your company set up. When agents are looking to work with a rent-to-rent company, they want to work with companies, not individuals. So even though you haven't got 2 years of history or even a year, you can present yourself as someone who's taking themselves seriously. So next, you're going to need to instill some confidence into the agent. They're always concerned about risks. So it is definitely your job to kind of ease those concerns. Here's how to do that. So if you have a track record, so if you've managed other properties, other tenants, you need to be mentioning it. If not, highlight the training and the knowledge you have in the market. So if you are working with landlords and other agents, try and get a reference from them. Try and get something from them that will build your credibility when talking to a fresh agent or landlord. You need something. Another thing is, if you have a business coach or a mentor like myself, you need to be mentioning that you are working with serious business mentors who are active in this space, and that you've paid a lot of money for training and you're taking yourself very seriously. You're not just someone who's gone on a day course and just winging it. You've invested heavily, you've got all of the tools and everything in place to run this business smoothly. You're just looking for those type of people that are willing to give you an opportunity to get this business off the ground. You need to be saying that. I tell my students to say that. I've said that myself. It works. Pull at the heartstrings. You're dealing with people. You're not dealing with robots. They have emotions. Property is a people person business. The moment you understand that is the moment you can start talking on a human level. Like, guys, I'm taking myself very seriously. I've got business mentors. I've paid a lot of money for training. I've got the contracts. I've got everything I need to manage tenants. I just need a property. I've got the money to go. It just shows that you have guidance and support. It's not just you on your own. So yes, be mentioning it. Here's a pro tip for you guys. Don't start with big time agencies like Savills and Knight Frank. They're often quite a lot stricter. Instead, focus on smaller agents. Agents that want to get their business off the ground and are more open to building relationships. So you need to be personable. You need to be calling them. You need to visit their office, build that rapport, and follow up every 3 weeks. Hey Jeff, yeah, I spoke to you, 3 weeks ago. It's Kenny again. I'm just wondering if you have any new properties. No, not yet, Kenny, but as soon as we do, bro, I'm going to give you a call. Roger that, but I'm going to call you again in 3 weeks' time. You both laugh, you hang up, you call in 3 weeks' time. The rapport is there. You're building that relationship. As soon as a property is available, bang. Honestly, it works. Trust me, guys. Trust me when I say it works. That tactic works. They start looking at you and they want to help you build your business. That is exactly how it worked for me. The agent even told me that. We were just so keen to get your first property to really help your business get off the ground. Agents aren't like a massive brick wall where they're like, you're not getting through. Not all of them anyway. The reason why rent to rent is a numbers game is because you've got to find that type of agent. So since you are new, you might have to go through a different approach compared to someone who's slightly more established. So yes, you're going to offer the benefit of guaranteed rent. That's a given. We're a guaranteed rent company. But it's just reminding them, like highlighting the fact in your marketing, in your email, in your offer, is the landlord will get paid on time, every time, on the first or any specific given date, every single month. No management hassle. The agents or the landlord aren't going to be dealing with tenants that just throw a load of hassle estate agents' way. That's your job. That's why they value you, to take on tenant management. And when I say tenants, this is referring to like rent-to-rent HMO as well. So serviced accommodation basis, it will be guests. You're taking on guest management. But the reason why I say it is traditionally the landlord and agent would have rented to tenants for that property. So you're taking that hassle away from them. You're also going to give the property a refurb if needed. Lift it up. Increase the value of the property, which is a benefit of the landlord. Most of the landlords I've worked with remortgage after I've done the refurb. It's amazing. You're going to take away a lot of stress from the landlord, peace of mind for them. The benefits are massive. It's almost like a no-brainer. If I was a landlord, I would 100% give it to a company let. It needs to be kept immaculate because it's a serviced accommodation. It'll be on Airbnb and booking.com for guests, and they're not going to turn up and be like, whoa, this place is a bit of a mess. No, it would be immaculate. So the landlord's property is being kept immaculate. It would be cleaned every time the guest leaves, because it has to be, otherwise you don't make money. You're also going to take on light maintenance. Don't forget here, we are a corporate tenant. That's it. We don't take on boiler maintenance like structural, electrical, plumbing, heating, nothing like that. We are a corporate tenant, so we still expect the landlord to take on the big responsibilities of looking after their property. We're just going to take on the minor maintenance. You're also going to set the property up to a very high standard. This will attract a different type of clientele. You're also going to have security measures to keep an eye on the place. You're going to have a cleaner come in every time, like I mentioned. It's going to be like a really smoothly run business. And wrapped up in all of that is what keeps it in excellent condition. So agents will reference you. If you're going through estate agents to find a property, they're more than likely going to reference you. And this is where this question is coming in. How do you find an SA deal when you don't have 2 years worth of trading accounts? Depends on your funds. Like when I started, I had no spare cash. I couldn't offer any rent up front whatsoever. I come across 2 HMOs where the landlord was looking for a company let. Accepted my offer, but he wanted 12 months rent up front for both. It was equating to like £59,000. Was insane. I had just shy of 5 grand in my account at this point. So guys, this is a very valid point. Honesty is the best policy. Don't ever lie. Don't ever say secret little white lies to try and negotiate the deal. They will find out. They will find out upon referencing. There's no point lying. Just be straight up and honest. And this is what I did. I said to the landlord, well, I said to the agent, because I didn't have direct access to the landlord, and they just passed my message on to the landlord. I'm brand new. I'm very keen. Got everything in place, the training, the mentors, just ready to go, waiting for an opportunity from a landlord. I wasn't even the highest offer. I've literally interviewed this landlord. And if you want to watch that interview, the link here is the very landlord I'm talking about. Go and watch that. It's about 3.5 minutes long of why this landlord accepted my offer. I wasn't even the highest offer, but he just liked how I presented the offer, the wrapped around service. He wanted a more hands-off approach for someone looking after his property. Appreciate it might not be serviced accommodation, which is what this video is about, but it's still a rent-to-rent property, still a landlord. Nothing really changes. It's just the use of what we're using that property for. But my point being is, if you do have savings in place, then you can offer to pay 3 to 6 months rent up front. That's just a bit of extra security for the landlord. And it just shows the landlord you have a bit more skin in the game, basically. But it's not always a deal breaker. Like I said, I didn't have it. You can also get rent guarantee insurance. You can get that in place. That will protect the landlord's income. You're going to need to show bank statements, even though it would be pretty much empty. It would maybe show you transfer a little bit of funds in there to get the business like up and running, but that'll be about it. It's almost embarrassing to send it across, but don't worry, we've all been there. My students have all been there. You're not unique. So here's what I suggest you do. If you're struggling with agents right now, start with landlords. So you can get direct to landlords through platforms like Zoopla, OpenRent, Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace, but please be very, very careful. There's a lot of scammers out there. Do not transfer any funds to potential deal sources or rent-to-rent finders companies. Like do not transfer any money to anybody that you find through these platforms until you've physically seen the property. And even then you need a contract for a holding deposit to pay it. There's so many scammers out there. Just be very careful, guys. So just go on these platforms, properties for rent. You can even filter it direct from landlords. So you're removing any properties that are advertised through agents. But even agents are a little bit sneaky and they list their properties under landlords. So if you're an agent watching this one's for you. Another option is networking events. Not everybody like us that are doing property strategies go to networking events. Sometimes there's a lot of landlords that just want to network with other landlords and they actually don't even understand that these are the strategies, and there's people like you willing to guarantee rent on properties. I'm not saying they're completely oblivious. They might have heard of guaranteed rent schemes before, but they've always just turned a blind eye to it. So it's always worth going and chatting with people. One of the service accommodations that I took on, I knew of a landlord that just bought up properties from time to time. And I literally just said, hey Andy, have you bought any properties recently? And he was like, yeah, I've just bought a 2-bed flat. And he literally was showing me pictures and I asked him what his intended use of the property was. He was just going to rent to a family. go through an estate agent. I told him what I've done, shown him pictures, you know, I've shown him quite a few pictures of this is how it looked before and this is how it looked after. And I said, you know, let me do a bit of digging on your property and do some due diligence because I might actually have it. He was like, what do you mean you'll have it? I was like, yeah, I'd rent it from you for 3 to 5 years. Like, how long do you want it let for? That is literally how I got a serviced accommodation deal. So when you hear the saying, tell everybody what you do, you really should. You never know what opportunity might come out of that. Also focusing direct to landlords. Like, landlords don't care as much as, it's not a process. Like estate agents, their process is referencing everybody. Landlords are people to people, person to person. You know, this is a people person business. Landlords will be sold on you. They won't run referencing. Every landlord I've worked with directly, never gone through referencing. They especially do not care about trading history, because they're not even a limited company themselves. They don't care. It only comes down to, can you solve their problem? That's it. So getting around the trading history challenge isn't about lying or cutting corners. It's about building trust and showing that you're serious. It's showing the owner you're a reliable business. So guys, implement everything I've told you in this video. Stay consistent with that as well. You'll go on a lot of viewings. Set a standard. My standard was at least 1 viewing a week, and if I got anything less, I was pissed off. Set a standard and you'll start landing property deals a lot sooner than you think. It would just happen. It would just click. It would all just slot into place and it would blow your mind. Don't let limiting beliefs or anything like your business account, no 2 years of trading, no experience. Don't let any of that hold you back. If that held me back, you wouldn't be watching this YouTube video. I'd still be in work. I was in the typical position. No experience, no money. Just stayed persistent, trusted the process, put my limiting beliefs behind. So if I could do it, you definitely can do it as well.